are today speaking with Mark Kirkham, Edinburgh Sketcher. And I just thought it would be really lovely to catch up with what he has been up to since lockdown. So I've been following Mark for quite some time, not in a stalkery way, but in a you know, like looking at what he does on Twitter. And I just find the videos that you make are really absorbing. Like I just keep watching them. I just find any video that artists make, like the drawing and the time lapse, it's just really like kind of.
I do as well, actually. But yeah, I think the music as well sometimes is part of it. It's like yeah, it can make or break it. But yeah, I sometimes wonder whether the fast ones are too fast. Like you should slow down sometimes and just see a bit of the process and then speed up again.
Yeah, you can
maybe overthinking it.
Oh, or you could just mix it up a little bit. I don't know. Like I've kind of been meaning to make my own, but I think what happens is a lot of the material I'm looking at is actually on my phone, and that's also what I record with. So it's sort of like,
yeah, no, I've got a great app now. Edinburgh Reporter told me to use this app, LumaVision, but it's really good, and I just use it on the phone, so I don't have to worry about transferring it.
All the extra stuff.
Something to look at.
Yeah.
When you've got time.
I know, like late at night after everything else is done. So can you tell us a little bit, like I've noticed that you've been making lots of cards and can you tell us a little bit about how you came up with that idea? And
okay, so well, basically I had a bit of time because I do a lot of my workshops out and about, and I take people out drawing. And when all the live events sort of stopped, I had to think of something else to do. And basically I just wanted to start drawing things, and I quite like drawing flowers anyway. And I'm lucky enough to have a nice garden. But I was drawing the flowers, and I thought it'd be quite nice. I've got a lot of cards and things that people could send to each other. And you know, probably you do too, like you just make your own cards for your family and things. But I thought if people can't go out and see people, you could send them a card instead. So, and I wanted to make them quite cheap, but at the same time give something. So I give a little bit of money from each one to the NHS, and so that's quite a nice thing to do. But also it's it kept me busy because I didn't really have much to do. And yeah, it just sort of took off. So I was thinking of doing little cards anyway, because to do more general cards, I quite like the idea of just sending a card to somebody without a reason. So my sister always says that she loves getting post and cards on her birthday and things, but I thought if you could just send a card without it being a special day. So I started these just to say cards, and I've got a couple here. So I didn't want to spend too long on each one, but there's a like sort of flower one, and one for what we're doing now, like a rainbow. And I thought the idea of it's just a piece of card folded over, but I had lots of cards, and I thought I'll do these, and people can just ask me. They could pick a flower or something to go on the front, tell me what message to write inside, and then I can send it straight to their grandparents or whoever. Hello.
Lovely. Okay, so it's lovely. Okay, honey. How about we can play a game after? Okay, can you go and do you want to go and water the plants? That would be so helpful. Okay, that's lovely. Okay, can you water them again? I think they're very thirsty today. Lovely. No, honey.
No.
Working from home. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
No, I know what it's like.
Just a minute. That's all right.
I don't know what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah. So so the cards really took off, and it's quite nice messages as well, because when I first started doing it, there was a few sad ones. I thought, oh, what have I done? Like, but most of them are just like, oh, how you doing? Really miss you and want to see you again. And so it's quite nice to see get an insight into that side of things when you're just listening to the news all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can be the opposite.
Yeah, and I think right now, like you know, just sort of tapping into the joy is so important, because I found that I've kind of stopped really engaging with Twitter over the past couple of days. And I listen to Six Music, like it's just on all the time, but I just find, you know, I'm not saying I'm avoiding the news, like I hear it and I can read it, but I don't need to hear it several times a day. I don't need to see it several times a day.
No.
I feel like just, okay, there's my update, that's fine, you know, and then just kind of focus on what we're doing.
Well, the twins, the 9-year-old kids I've got, they have got us into Fun Kids Radio, because there's no news on Fun Kids Radio.
Okay, is it called Fun Kids Radio?
It's called Fun Kids UK or something. It's on digital radio. So and there's no news, so they can listen to that all the time.
That is amazing.
And I've just started listening to that now. It's on in the house all the time.
Do you know, I'm gonna look that up, because I know that would be wonderful. It would be wonderful. And it's interesting how, like, radio is, I mean, it's been a thing, but I find that I really appreciate it now. And it kind of helps me feel a bit more connected with the outside world. I don't know if you, and even, you know, just the little bit of chat from the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listen to radio too a lot. And it's just the general chit chat and silliness in the background.
Yeah. It's almost like
quite good for people working at home anyway.
Oh, so, yeah.
You know, when you're not in an office. I used to work in an office for a long time.
Yeah.
And there's good sides and bad sides, but sometimes you just miss that general chit chat.
Yeah.
So, it's quite nice.
Yeah.
So I did the cards, and then I got a bit into rainbows and things, and because I went around the neighborhoods, you know, on the daily walks and things like that.
Yeah.
So what I did was, well, I've not got something to show you, but I did like rainbows in the windows, and I drew the outside of the window, which is kind of what I would do anyway. I did one during the referendum.
I saw that. Just like one on top of the other, like two opposing sides.
Yeah, that was really good. And so I did a similar one with the brickwork around the window and the rainbow. And then somebody had done one near us with their books, and they stacked up all their books in coloured rainbow. So I drew that. So yeah, that's quite cool. But yeah, it's just being creative with your time. It's looking at things slightly differently. And like I was saying, using the brushes and trying to do quick drawings for my gift cards made me sort of zoom into a different style, whereas not spending as long. I'll show you one that I did first when I first started the lockdown. Princess Street, you can see that. And I'd cycled through the town and took a picture of it, because it was just so weird seeing Princess Street empty on a sunny day. It's like the middle of the night, but daylight. So I wanted to capture that at home. So this is more of my usual style, where there's a lot of cross-hatching and detail and things. But it took a while to do. So when I started doing the gift cards, I wanted to do them quite quick, so I could do them just simple little squiggles, really. So you could keep them cheap, that people could order them. And that's made me go into more styles like that. So I've been trying to capture the kids recently with this one, and another one here of them playing with the Lego.
It's good, yeah. So, and the cat visiting.
The cat, yeah. And it's quite nice. It's like a kid's storybook, really. So if you the more you look, you can see little things in it, which is quite nice. I quite like that when I'm looking at the books with the twins. So yeah, it's quite nice to spend a bit of time doing something different, because usually, because I'm known for my style and I do commissions and I do live events, people sort of know what they're going to get now, so they want that, which is good, because people come to me for that. But at the same time, you don't often get a chance to break out of that style. So it's nice just to spend a bit of time doing something different and seeing how it goes down with people.
Yeah, and I think also it just really it helps to kind of open your mind up to different ways of creativity. Yeah, and using different materials, and then it's you know, it's also like playing, because I find like art making, it's a form of playing, and then it's, you know, so you're just like, oh, I'll just a bit curious about this, I'll just test it out and see what happens, and you know, then you just end up going down like this other route to the point where, yeah, it could be like you could have two things going on at the same time, and people will recognize you for Edinburgh Sketcher, and people will recognize you for like more.
Yeah, you feel a lot of pressure sometimes that it's one or the other, and you don't mess with it if it works and things, but there's no rule that you can't do two different things, I don't think. So just try it, you know.
I agree with the like, yeah, I think, well, I think I've heard conflicting advice, like you should stick to one thing, but I just don't think so. You know, we're not just like one way. You know, we have lots of different facets and lots of different sides to ourselves. So I think our art should reflect that too.
Yeah, and it's nice to get the kids in as well. Like, it's a bit of a diary. Like, I often, actually, just hang on a second. I've got a book. Quite nice to show you. So, what I usually tell people on my workshops is to spend no money at all. Like, cheap materials. And these books, I always tell people to go and get them. They're from the work, so that the book world is the one on Princess Street. But I'll just flick through. So these are kind of, it's like these become like a diary to me. So there's all different little doodles and flowers and things. But I've got hundreds of these books now, like a box full of them. Oh, there's the rainbow.
Yay! Oh, amazing. And you're right, it's like documenting life, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's tiny, but yeah, you can look back on it like a diary. So if I look back on this one, obviously we'll get loads of kids stuff and lockdown stuff and what I've been doing. So this is a rainbow one I did. It's just one of my old prints, but I printed it out and colored it in.
Yeah.
So and then I started experimenting without the lines, and this one I drew just with the paintbrush, so it's just colour
and it's amazing.
Take out the dark and shades, which was quite nice. And again, it's something different for me, so it keeps me more interested in, you know, and seeing how things work out. So yeah, it's just using the time to experiment. Really, it's quite good.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is good, and I can tell it's like Edinburgh is so recognizable in that, and you don't even need the details. It's just like you have the skyline.
Just that skyline, and
there you have it.
Because I've seen a couple online of like London, and you can see the black skyline and then a rainbow over the top. But I thought, yeah, just because everybody knows that skyline, you could just use the colours coming down. Yeah. So it worked out. But yeah.
Excellent. And so for those, like, I'm pretty certain everybody who's watching this, they know how to find you and contact you. But for anybody who might be new, you have an Etsy page?
Yes, so I have an Etsy account just under Edinburgh Sketcher. So if you Google Edinburgh Sketcher, or it'll come up, or my website's edinburghsketcher.com, and then there's a link to the shop. Brilliant. So,
and then for people who want to commission, same contact details?
Yes, so contact, actually, my email address is contact@edinburghsketcher.com. So yeah, I'm taking commissions and keeping me busy.
Good. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your time.
No problem. Thanks for asking.
And I look forward to just seeing how the next few months go, and the new stuff, and
and which parts of these things you keep going as well. All these experimenting things, you see, you don't know which ones will keep going into the normal world when we sort of get back to a bit of normality. But yeah, it's good.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.